Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'll be reviewing my fourth and final round from the third Cleveland Go Club rating tournament. If you have not seen the other three reviews, one, you should definitely check them out. But two, so far in the tournament, I have gone 3-0. So I feel pretty confident, especially after the last game, considering the circumstances of that game. But my final round opponent is Michael Stevenson, who is also 3-0 in the tournament so far. And Michael is somebody who is such a solid player. And I basically play him at almost every local tournament that happens in Cleveland. So we have a long history. Not only just tournament games, but also just casual games. And in fact, I can't remember if it was 1 week or 2 weeks prior to this tournament. Cleveland had a Asia festival, and the Go Club has a booth there to help show off the game and maybe get some people interested in it. And when I showed up there, Michael and I actually played a game, and that game stuck out to me. It was in my head before the tournament even started, but specifically before we were playing, because we just agreed, okay, let's play 3 stones, let's have a good game. And I just had no chance. There was no excitement. There was no rigmarole. There was nothing for white. I just got beat down after 120 moves or something. Black was just solid everywhere, just had a huge lead. And I was like, wow, either I'm playing badly or Michael's playing really well, or a mix of both. So that was stuck in my head because that was our most recent game we played. Now, that was my first game of the day at the Cleveland Asia Festival. At least this time, when we were playing in tournament, I had some games under my belt. I was feeling a lot better, a lot more warmed up than I did at the Cleveland Asia Festival. And the reverse of that is maybe Michael's more drained as well. Because again, we're now at the 4th round. We've been doing this since 10 a.m. It's now, I guess like 4:30 p.m. So it's been a long day of Go. So with all that said, we're going to jump to the game. Now, this game gets very, very complicated very quickly, honestly. So I'll do my best to explain it all. With that being said, though, that means the opening, I'll keep kind of brief. It's still important to talk about, but opening we'll get through so we can get to the meat of the matter and the excitement. And really the part of the game we can really learn a lot from. But yeah, also fun fact, we were both recording the games, Michael and I, and we were using the same exact program. And because it's a 3-stone game, it's not symmetrical for one side to record and the other side to record. So I let Michael record from his perspective. So I actually recorded the game upside down. Which is why the lower right corner is not open, but the upper left is because this is from Michael's perspective, even though I was playing on the other side. Just wanted to mention that. It did not affect my play, I don't think, because I've done that before. But yeah. Again, I talked about this in the second game, but I had this move planned where the basic idea is if Black were to answer with the most common move, I would go elsewhere. And I almost want Black to play here so I can play this move. This is the move I've set up with, basically, or I've planned. But just like in the second game, Black immediately goes in, so I bump, Black bumps, and then go into the corner. And in the other game, Black just went elsewhere, right? Black just like extended there and let me like capture here. But Black responds locally, and this is the key spot. Again, if White gets that spot, right, if you do like this, if White's able to get this spot, White's very comfortable. It's a perfect shape. But by going there, I'm able to go into the corner, with the idea being you can't really, well, you can cut, but I'm going to cut off your stone on the left side. And there is some Aji here, but remember, Black also has some bad Aji when I Hane like this. So I'm not sure black wants to do this. Yeah, like black's just captured. It's a good shape to know, by the way. If we just descend, black can poke here. And this will be some sort of semi-eye. Yeah, some sort of semi-eye, kind of looking ko-ish if I just hane. But we can simply capture by taking the bamboo joint, which is my opponent's good shape. So, yeah, that's the move to capture. There's no way for black to save the 3 stones now. If black takes, then I capture, and I honestly get what I want. I honestly get what I want. The left side's getting big. Black's getting some thickness on the bottom, but it's... The Q4 stone is so far away that it's hard to say like black can make a huge moyo on the bottom with just 1 or even 2 moves. So yeah, black doesn't want to do that. So that's why black hanes. And so then I simply play here. I wasn't sure. Maybe I should keep the attack up, or even... Well, I can't do that one. Yeah, I guess just empty triangle then. Yeah, just something. Maybe bump. Something else. If black jumps, I can hane now. Black Ataris. Right, there's just... Now, I know I said I prepared this move, but that does not mean I knew every variation. I kind of... Honestly, in both games, I was kind of surprised by the moves they played. Yeah, I was surprised by the moves they played. Like, that makes sense to me, but I was not expecting the hane. But this felt okay because I can cut. Where black Ataris, I wouldn't... It might seem crazy because I can capture the 2, but I wouldn't capture the 2. I would use this cut to then push through black shape like this. Because black shape on the bottom is still not perfectly alive. Like D2 is calling out to me, or even maybe pincering instead, force black to live small. And of course I've cut off the left side. So black stands up. So I descend, and here there's a key spot here for both sides, which is E2. Now, after the game we talked about it, black didn't want to play E2 because black didn't want to have these cuts here. Obviously black needs to connect here, and when white cuts, we can see black's shape on the left side is very flimsy. It's very flimsy. So, yeah, black didn't want to see this. Even if this kind of thing could happen. Like, black didn't like this. So instead, if black wants the outside, black says, okay, you know, even if you get E2, my outside's strong. But I was very happy with this result. The corner felt pretty large, and black's outside, again, because there is still a weakness here. Outside's not perfect, and there's an open skirt here. So even this wall here is facing a side that is still open. It's still open. And then black goes here, which in the context of the game makes sense because, again, there is a weakness here. But the top side, even just approach-wise, is bigger. Right? We can just see black is getting a bigger area when black plays from the top, as opposed to if black plays on the left side. But I'm guessing black... Because of black's weakness on the bottom, on the lower left, I mean, black didn't want to see this kind of thing. Yeah, I'm guessing black didn't want to see this. But it's not super easy for white. It's not something that immediately works for white to like push and cut here. So it still needs some preparation. So I still think black should play from the right side with F17. Black's quite... It's a nice shape. It's actually quite cramped. Then play the 3-3, and with black having the wall here, it might look enticing to block the bottom, but again, with the open skirt here, if black blocks, I should say, like I can just, honestly, I can play some reduction move like this. If black makes the points here, we can see that like there's actually not that many points on the bottom. But if black plays some moyo building move, then I can basically anytime play some move to invade, because again, I have this kind of move, which threatens to connect, and in conjunction with this kind of move, you can see I can make a base pretty easily. So yeah, that's why black decides, okay, even though I have this thickness here, let me block the right side. And then black chooses the kind of suboptimal Joseki now. Yeah, I'm not really sure why he does not just extend here. Because I in fact use this weakness here to my advantage immediately. This is the move to, I don't want to say attack the lower right, because I'm not planning to attack this per se, but to kind of look at the weakness here. This is the perfect move, because when black tries to pincer, I can peep here. And the weakness here is why this Joseki is not favored anymore by first pros and now, or first AIs and now human players. So that's why you do this one. Even now, if you play the same kind of Joseki, now when I peep, it's not a perfect shape now, right? Before it's a knight's move, or a large knight's move. That has a strong connection. So when black connects, now black's shape is all weak. But in this case, black could just honestly counterattack. Black doesn't need to connect solidly. So that's in a nutshell, that's one of many reasons why we don't see this anymore. If you're going to Hane, you should, or Hane at the head of two stones, I should say, it's most common to just double Hane and take the corner like this. And again, in this case, white can't really develop the bottom because of these 4 stones here. So again, black's taking the big corner, lower right corner, and the right side is looking quite big, although right now white would probably play on the right side. So black does this, pincer. This spacing seems weird, but it's hard to say like, oh, black, you know, this one's obviously better or this one's obviously better. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Peep and then jump. And you see now black's trying to counterattack, but white's so light that it just doesn't matter. Then black plays a 3-3 and even able to stand up. So I Hane. And here, this is a very nice order of moves that black could have done. As black Hanes, I connect and then attaches. And so I Hane back and block. And black's able to capture, but I'm able to take the corner. So what could black have done differently? Well, I think black should start with F18. Start with F18. And the idea is, let's say we do the same exact sequence, right? Where this sort of thing happens. But what is different about this position? The difference are those 2 stones in the corner. Look at the white stone at, was that B16, and the black stone at B18. Which stone has more value? The B16 stone or the B18 stone? Obviously, the B16 stone does more for white than the B18 stone does for black. Even just directly, having this B16 stone here means I can just monkey jump later. Again, you wouldn't do that in this case, but just for example, B16 is a stone that is helping white, whereas the stone at B18 is not helping black. So black should start with the attachment. The reason why you start with it is to see how white plays. If white just extends, well, now we can block. And now we can use this B18 stone to our advantage. If white bumps here and then descends, again, if we were planning on giving up 3 stones, we're definitely going to plan on giving up 2 stones. So it's an order of moves things here, where black basically has this move in their back pocket. So black doesn't need to use it immediately. Black can start with F18. Yeah. So, yeah. White captures there, and then black plays back. And this is I'll say this is a very Michael move, and I'm not saying that in a negative sense. It just fits his style. My style would be, hey, I have a potential Moyo up top, so I'm going to make it as big as I can. I want my opponent to jump in, so I have something to attack. Like white coming in, mwah, chef's kiss. That's what I want. I would have something to attack, and that's the kind of game I like. I like fighting. I like fighting. But Michael is a very patient player. And so he's just saying, okay, while I am reducing the amount of points I could get, I am getting solid amount of points, right? Risk versus reward. Black's saying the risk is not worth it. I'll just take my 4th line territory, even if this move could get me more than 4th line territory. I'll just take my 4th line territory because it's good enough for me in this game. And again, it's hard to argue with that logic. I would say both moves are totally possible, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I think both moves are playable, but this is a very Michael move. It's a very Michael move. And here, this move I don't mind, but I think I should prepare first, because the thing I have to keep in mind. So the idea with this move, of course, is to attack the lower right, but also there's a cut here, right? And I'm looking at this cut, and remember before, I didn't have extra stones here. So any attack on the left side wouldn't be super severe. But Black's given me all this thickness here. So now I'm like, okay, I have thickness here. So I can attack the lower right. I can cut the lower left and the left side from each other. This is going to be great. So let me start attacking. But I think I need to be a little more patient, because I have to realize that K3 for me does not have a lot of value. In fact, K3 or the space around K3 for either side does not have a lot of value. Like, now it's not even just Black has an open skirt on this side. Black has an open skirt on this side. So even if Black blocks here, I can just push here. And there's just not a lot of points there to be had. And again, similarly, there's not a lot of points there for me either. So I think I should cap here. This strengthens my... While they're light, they're not strong. And I'm trying to attack when I have just a string of stones on the right side. So that's not a good way to attack. So I think I should cap. Again, if Black fixes, which again, there's not a really good way to fix. I'll just play here just for example's sake. Then I can turn my attention to the stone at Q11. And now I'm putting pressure on the corner. And yeah, and I've strengthened my stones here by being able to get this cap at O11. If Black answers, now when I attack, which these are the moves that happen in the game, now I've helped out my 2 stones here, and now I can more strongly attack. And it might seem like, does 1 stone really make that big of a difference? Like comparing this fight to this fight, does it really make that big of a difference? Yes. It makes all the difference. 1 stone in a fight, in a lot of cases, is life and death. So yeah, it's just, it means if Black keeps running to the center, this is an extra stone that is putting pressure on the Black group in the lower right. So, and again, it's helping my right stones as well. So yeah. So yeah, I think I need to play this to prepare, but I immediately do it. And I had a moral dilemma here. And I'm curious what the audience thinks about this. So, one, I'll say if I had jumped first, I would definitely connect. Oops. If it was like this, I would definitely connect like so, right? Because again, that stone, look how perfectly placed O11 is. It is helping my now once 2 stones, now a group, immensely. Be super good. But yeah, that's not what we had. We had it here. So the question is, should White connect or should White sacrifice? Because in the game, I sacrificed. Because my logic was, and this was my moral dilemma of the game. Okay, well, if I connect, look how heavy I get, right? Look how heavy I get. I'm making stones that were worth no points for me, still worth no points for me, but more points for Black, right? Like if Black captures me, Black would be getting more. So Black could stand up and then play this, right? And why would I want to save? So why I wouldn't want to save is because I get heavy. Why I would want to save is it creates this cut at M6. And keep in mind, Black is still not alive. So it would be keeping the attack going on the entire Black group. So that would be why White would want to save. But again, I get heavy here. So what do you think? Should white save here and really put the pressure on black? Or should white do something else? In the game, I did something else, but later on, I was regretting not connecting here. Because even though black gets very over-concentrated, like if I go elsewhere and black has to take, like black had a wall here and black's just capturing 4 points with the wall, black actually gets insanely thick here as well. That's the thing with being heavy. When you're heavy, yes, you're over-concentrated. Over-concentrated, not heavy. But you're super solid. Super solid. So I wasn't sure. So I just went elsewhere. I pushed and cut. And part of me wonders, not that this fight should end cataclysmically for black, but what if black could just like give up like this? Would that be too much? Would that be too much? It's hard to say. Probably. But it would avoid a lot of complications in this game. So black covers, I cut. I think black can Atari once and then extend. When black just extends, obviously this is the key spot. Notice I'm able to extend my liberties on these stones to 4 liberties, which that's why this kind of pinwheel shape is preferred a lot of the time, is because it's the move that gets you the most liberties, right? I have 4 liberties here. If I push here, I only have 3 liberties. So that's why the pinwheel shape is kind of like a standard fighting shape. But if black can go here, notice you take away that option. Now, the reason why black wouldn't want to is because white can counter Atari like this. But we'll see it actually doesn't end super well for white. So obviously here, black has cuts. But these 4 stones are starting to get less and less important. So even if white cuts immediately, white has the ladder, but black has a nice move here to threaten these 2 stones, but also threaten something here. Black can just peep here. Yeah, black can peep if white covers and black pushes through. Yeah, that is quite good for black. Again, all white has gained is, what is that? Maybe like 10-ish points. 10-ish points. Black secured the left side now and has huge thickness. And now the center is looking big. So I couldn't even probably cut there. So I wouldn't be able to push through here then. So I have to extend. And then we'll get this fight. And black's left side shape is just a lot better. If you compare it to this shape, there's an obvious weakness at C10. And then black takes. So again, I had a moral dilemma here because I was like, oh, okay, black spent a move to live small. Like, that should be good for me. But black's alive now. Black's alive now. And my right side stones are still super weak. So I think I had wrong direction here. So I jump like this, which by itself, this move isn't terrible, but I needed to ignore this move. Right now, I need to just push and cut here. Or not even push and cut, just cut and capture. There's no way for black to save them. And the reason why I needed to jump first is even though I could do this, and this would end up capturing. The reason why I wouldn't want to do this is because I get sealed in so badly, right? Yeah, like black could do all this, and yeah, it's not super good. It's not a great result for white here. Black's thickness is just so powerful. So I want to jump first to avoid that. So now if black runs out, now black cannot squeeze me to force me to have to capture immediately. And so black doesn't surround and black doesn't connect to the left side, upper left. So that's why I want to jump. And again, this is Sente. Like, I think black jumping out does make sense. I could play this kind of move. I don't need to kill this lower left. Because in fact, it comes back to B16. If black has to live with, I don't know, making these exchanges. Again, I'm not sure if black lives here or not, but let's just, assume black can live like this. I have thickness now. I could then turn it and still attack the left side. And again, B16 comes in handy because I can connect back. I can connect back like this. If black hadn't made this exchange, black could just Hane, and black has 3 liberties, so when I cut, black could just capture. But with B16 there, obviously black can't do that. Black can't do that. So yeah, so it makes sense for black to go here, but I should just, okay, that's my attack. Let me profit. But I get a little greedy and say, no, let's keep attacking. But I can't attack the lower right, and that's the thing. Now, this does indirectly help my right side stones, but the left side is what's hot, because when I stand up here, black takes c10. And yeah, there's no way for me to actually cut black here, so black is still out in the center. Yeah, so it's even here, like, I have time to play at c10, but I should definitely just play at c10 now. Yeah, so got a little greedy there, trying to keep the attack going past its due date. But I can at least still go here, but we can see that just, like, now I'm on the defensive. Push. And then come out. Black has to stand up. And again, I would like to be able to play moves like this, but I'm just so weak on the left side, I have to turn. Black gets to jump, and now black's not only just connecting back to the lower right, but black is now surrounding the stones at 08. And I still have to help my stones here. So I play here. Yeah, and I'm trying to keep hope alive on the left side, but it's ever diminishing. And when I jump here, yeah, black should just cover. This will simplify the game tremendously. Like, black Atari's first, that's fine. But black should just cover here. Cover here or cover here. Just make sure you're alive. Because in the game, what black does is black Hanes and then caps here. But I'm able to push here. And now black needs to live on the left side. But if black simply just blocks here, black's basically alive on the right side. Black has it, or on the left side. Black has an eye on the left. There's no way for me to take it out. And it's hard for me to save this stone that black's just surrounded or took away liberty from at f12. And the other thing is, remember, white is still weak here. So if white's weak here, white's also weak here. So let me ask you, is there a way for white to connect these two groups? No. Not in one move, at least. So, and I can't connect back to the left side either, upper left. That's just too far of a distance. So, yeah, I don't even know what I would do here, to be honest. When black caps, that gives me a chance to stand up, and now I can keep attacking the left side. Black plays here thinking I have to connect, but I can actually just block because I have enough liberties. So this is like, okay, finally, he shows his two non-colors, and he can make mistakes. Because so far, honestly, what have been black's mistakes? Maybe just B18. Maybe just B18 and like O10 were like the big mistakes. And they weren't even that big. But this, letting me just capture these 4 stones is quite big, because now black's actually not alive on the left side. Black even jumps, allowing me to get another move. Like, okay, black's giving up the left side. And look how big that left side is. So I'm like, okay, it'll be left side versus right side. But I feel pretty confident. So I push, cut. So this exchange here was to strengthen my lower side. And I'll show you what I mean. If black, if I go elsewhere, if black descends here, right? Because it's still Miai to separate. So if black goes here, I can connect under still. So if black descends, I can play here to connect. Now black might disagree though. Black might say, no, I can separate. But by making these exchanges here with the push and then cut, that actually changes a lot. Because I can stand up, stand up, stand up. Black can poke here, and I can connect. So if black simply connects back, black does not have enough liberties to win any semi-I here. Like if black wedges, it's not even ko, because I can just Atari. And getting this move doesn't help either, because it's still, black doesn't have enough liberties. Black has a fancy idea of playing here. And the idea with this move is if white captures here, then black can throw in, and it'll be some sort of ko shape. It'll be some sort of ko shape. And losing this ko for white isn't just losing the bottom. It's losing potentially these 3 stones. Like if I make a ko threat, like that, like black can go back and capture these 3, which affects the life and death of this corner group. So that's quite huge. So if black can go here, I have to play here. And now what if black connects? Well, it's kind of cool, but the same kind of move, J2, still works. Still works. If black wedges, you got to be careful of black wedges. Don't Atari, because black can Atari like this, and you can't connect because snapback. Now, it might look like ko like this, and it would be ko, but it's kind of flower ko for black. It's a very weird flower ko, but black will take anything, honestly. Black will take anything. Like, oh, I can go here? Okay, awesome. I'll take back the whole upper left. Oh, you're going to let me live on the left side? Awesome, right? Something, right? So, yeah. But white has a nice move of just cutting. And this is threatening to throw in. So if black stands up, I can throw in. If black Ataris, I can just connect, and it's a connect and die. So while J1 is a nice idea, it doesn't quite work. So by making these exchanges, though, with the push here, that was to make it so I can connect. So yeah, pretty nice reading there, honestly, from both sides, because black doesn't try it either, because black knows. So black goes there. And this is like this is like reading 101, where I'm sure I'm not the only player that does this, and it's a pretty bad habit too, where right the sequence here we have a life and death. So you're trying to read through it, right? So okay, I'll do this, and you find the move that works, and you've read out all the sequences, you've spent a couple minutes on it, and right before you play that move, you find a different move that you didn't consider. And you're like, you know what, this one looks better. Let me do that one. Without anywhere near as much thought as the first move you were going to play. So okay, I don't know if that happens to anyone else, but that happened to me here, where if I just play B11, this was my first thought, black just dies. And B11 is not only, really it should be the first move you think of, because Life and Death 101 is squeeze the base from the outside. But in general, if you can kill by squeezing from the outside or throwing in to their eye space, you should always try to play from the outside. And the reason for that is, let's say black comes back to life anyways, right? Like let's say black plays here as a ko threat, and you have to play the ko, right? You have to take the ko. You take the ko. Well, black just lives small, right? And your stone at B11 is useful. But let's say you play here, which is the move I play in the game. Black plays here as a ko threat, and you have to take the ko. Well, now the difference is, now when your stone was at B11, it was getting you some points, but now the stone's at B9, you've just lost points, and in fact gave black some points as well in this ko exchange. So that's why you want to try, if possible, to just squeeze from the outside as opposed to play from the inside. So that's why, and in fact, go here again. This just works. If black blocks, I can poke here. This is also peeping. So black has to take away liberty, but I can just poke out the eye. If black plays here, I can play at A9. And it's basically saying, okay, black, you have an eye here for now, but there's no way for you to make an eye here in this space here. Like if black goes here, I can just poke here, and there's no eye. Yeah, black goes here, I could just stand up. So yeah, and it's pretty simple too, right? There's not many variations here. Yeah, A9 you gotta be able to see, but beyond that, it should be pretty good. But in the game, I play here, which the best black can do is ko, because black has to go here because, again, if you block, I'm going to push. And then, again, this is a dead shape here. So black has to block here, but I can at least connect back like this. And if black hanes, obviously if I cut immediately, I get captured. But I can push here first. And if black covers, then I can cut. And connect. So the black would be dead here. If black connects here, well, this is actually not an eye yet. Yeah, it's not even one eye. So I can... Capturing 2 stones is not always an eye. So, yeah. So that would work. So black technically has co-shapes like this. But the problem... Yeah, with co-shapes like this. Where black can... cut here? Yeah, black can cut here. And we can see these 2 stones are very low on liberties. So you can see it's very dangerous for white as well, even though it is a co. Whereas in the other variation, you can just kill outright. So like if I Atari here, when black captures, when black captures, you gotta be careful. You got a co here, but there's a throw in here. So if you throw in, then we have a real co. Yeah, we have a real co. So it's just... Yeah, and it might not even be a real co. I think black can just, now that I'm looking at it, just squeeze like this. And black capturing here. Is that an eye actually? Maybe it's not an eye. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, maybe that's not an eye still. That's that would be a crazy sequence. But what's even crazier is that's not an eye because black made the B18 B16 exchange. Because if white didn't have the stone at B16, black could just connect and white wouldn't be able to connect back. But because white has the stone at B16, it works. White can take away the eye. So really, I don't know what black was doing. Why didn't black foresee this future with playing B18? But in all seriousness, this would be tough. This would be tough. So that's why I should just go here. No co, just death. But then I even go here, which just doesn't even work at all. I didn't see this move, which is a nice move for black. And then descend. The problem is black has an eye here, right? And black's captured these. So I have to be able to play. I have to try to get rid of this eye here. Yeah, because if I capture here and I descend, now black can just block. Because I can't play A8 to get rid of this eye. So that's why I have to descend, where if black covers, obviously then I can Atari. So I have to descend, but then black can descend, which again, I have to play here to get rid of that eye, but because of black's clamp at B12, black can descend and make the second eye at A11. So I don't even get a co. I don't even get a co in this scenario. I just get black alive. And what did I get in exchange? Like I could have, if I thought black could still live, I could have just played here. Yeah, probably just played here, right? And taken the whole left side. But in exchange, I get this move at L14. And this is, I am usually pretty, I'm usually pretty stoic when I play. Yeah, I'm usually pretty stoic. I can usually keep a kind of a level head and kind of think things thoroughly through logically. But at this stage, I remember maybe first time ever. So that might be extreme, but in the first time in a long time, I got tilted here because I read the thing correctly. I was going to play B11, and just the last second, I just switched. And one, that was infuriating to me because, like, why did I spend 2 minutes to read a sequence that I'm pretty sure works, and post-game, turned out it did work, and then just do something not only that lets black live, but lets black live with a lot of points. Because I've given up, again, I've played stones on the inside, so I've given up points there. And in exchange, I've gotten this stone at L14. So it's like, look at what I attacked, right? I attacked this lower right, I attacked the lower left, and the left side. What have I gained from that? Sure, maybe I've gained a few points here, but look at my right side. So this is when, I wouldn't say I went into overplay mode, but I went into let's complicate the game as much as possible. Because one thing, and I basically have this advantage in almost anyone I play, is I have the time advantage. And I don't specifically remember what the time here was, but all I know is I had a lead in time. And so I was like, okay, if I'm going to come back in this game, it's going to be with complicating the game and seeing if black can hold. So let me at least use the stone I played last. So black covers on top. Hane. And so immediately I make a ladder. And black connects here. So hindsight, black should play here. And maybe for endgame it's worse because white has clamps here. But you'll see, depending on what black I think should have done, and Michael and I looked at a post game and we both agree. Because one, this cut just actually doesn't work. So the cut doesn't work, but white can clamp later, which is what black was trying to prevent. But by going here, I'll show you what black, why this move is good. So let's look at the game first, though. So I have a ladder here, right? So okay, let's look for a ladder breaker. Boom. Let's threaten to pull these out and threaten here. So this is a pretty nice ladder breaker, right? Black covers. That stone perfectly ladders the cutting stones there. And black tries to resist like this, but I Hane back, saying, nope, you still got a ladder there. So then black fixes. And again, black is fixing, and black's trying to be efficient. Black doesn't want to just go here and just capture on a small scale. Black's trying to capture on a large scale. But in the process, black's actually giving me more forcing moves. But I think black should actually here let me have the ladder. Because look how much black can gain on the right side. And let me ask you, is white really getting that much on the top? Like, let's say I go here. First off, the entire right side's black's. The entire right side. And so, where's white's competing territory? There is none. And so, I think black should realize that these two stones are actually not worth that much. And if we play here, you'll see they're worth even less. So if we do something like this, black captures. Black can squeeze here, like this. And we can see how even smaller it really is, or how small it really is. And in conjunction with the fact black's taking the whole right side. So that's what I think black should do. So yeah, it's weird, like, you're told, like, okay, if you have cutting stones and your opponent plays ladder breakers, you got to save them. But it's not if something works, it's about if it's big enough. So I pull back, and black connects, and then I attach. Again, black didn't fully just capture, so this move is threatening to actually ladder those stones. If you cut, this is laddering. So black stands up, I connect, and this again is still laddering. So black jumps, and then I wedge. Again, I'm just trying to complicate the game. I know I can use the forcing moves here to my advantage. So I'm trying to connect in center. I don't want to just do this, basically. And by going here, my idea is if black Atari's this way, I'm going to cut, which this is, again, threatening to capture here with this kind of move. Yeah, there's an order here as well. Like, I probably would start with this and then do it this way. And again, there's some bad Aji here. There's some bad Aji here because black has to worry about this bottom group too. Now I have to worry about it too. Like, this directly works. Where black connects, I can cut here, and black can't make enough space to live. But I actually think the right side's bigger. I think black can even give up the lower left and take the entire right side. Because now the entire right side up to the, the 8th line is all blacks. So, yeah, even in some cases, giving up the lower left is bigger. But yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea with this wedge here. Black Ataris. And I've already connected. Because, and we get to this sequence later, but basically if black cuts, I can Atari, and connect. And yeah, there's a throw in here if black connects the two. So if black fixes that, so that's why black can't do it immediately, or white can't do it immediately because of this Atari. But that's why you'll see that when black cuts, I turn to set that up. So black squeezes here, Ataris, I Atari once, connect, and then I'm able to Atari and do that sequence that I was showing you. Black cuts, and then I can capture. So I got the turn at Q10 to be able to make that work. So yeah, so I'm actually, just like that, I'm actually alive. I've captured these 2 stones. It's hard to get rid of, with S11 being Sente, it's hard to get rid of the last eye. Black covers, so I cut immediately, and I cut here. Yeah, I am. Yes, this is forcing black to do something immediately, because I can capture, if black, I pause because I'm like, well, black could capture the bottom, but connecting here captures this group of stones here. So that's why black takes. So then I connect under, black K takes, then I descend. And so we're actually, after all the complications, which, like this fight here, there's a lot of complications here, but somehow, with black giving me a lot of force moves, not simplifying, like with this move, like black gave me a lot of forcing moves. And that's why I always say, like, when you're trying to attack, don't give your opponent forcing moves, because things like this can happen. And it just is like perfectly, everything's just perfectly working for white. Like I can Atari there, I can connect here, which tends to throw in. Yeah, cut, Atari, cut, then connect back. And again, we showed that white is connected. Black connects, so I descend. Black peeps, because black's trying to make me live. So then I Atari. And black Hanes, and I poke here. And the idea with this poke is it forces black to Atari here, basically, which forces me to take and forces black to connect back. And now I have connected my group. So I was basically forcing black to force me to connect my groups like this. So then when black connects, then I come back in Hane. And then black plays there, and then jumps. This move's not super helpful, though, for black, because unfortunately, now that black's alive, I can't kill, but I can use that fact to my advantage. So, for example, when black has to play here in a certain way. Black has to descend like this. There's no other moves. But I can play here in Sente, because again, black has to make the eye here. But then I can poke here, and black has to block. And then I can cut. So I can actually cut off these 5 stones. So this move isn't actually helpful. If anything, black should maybe just, I guess, just go here, honestly. Now there's no way for me to cut off these 4 stones. But yeah, it looks like we're just going to end game, but there's one last move with R18 or R17. And black just needed to descend here. Black just needed to descend here, and we're going to get a semi-eye with this kind of shape. But as we can see, it'll be 4 liberties to 3 liberties. Now, I am able to reduce black by a lot. Like, all that is Sente. But, and the game is close. The game's very close. But black still has a lead here, I'm pretty sure. Now, I can cut the stones off, which would be pretty nice. But it's a close game, is the bottom line. But at this stage, for sure, black is low on time. And so these are a lot of complications, a lot of things to read in 30 seconds. To remind people, the time settings were 30 minutes main time with 2 30-second overtime periods, which, again, we wanted 4 games in a day. So it had to be a little quick, although, honestly, 30-minute main time is like quite a bit of time. And 2 30-second overtimes. But that means mistakes like this can happen. And here, it would be ideal if black can do the tombstone like this. Because now it's very obviously 5 liberties to 3 liberties. But you can't think linearly like that. You can't think white has to capture. What if instead white blocks here? Now, even though we can Atari, we have to capture because we can't tombstone anymore. And now, we get captured ourselves. So, black at least knew that, but black squeezes. And then throw in. And I can make an eye. And here, so here's my thinking. Here's my line of thought. So I go at H3. My idea with H3 is, there's a ko here, right? So I definitely want to take liberties. But problem with that is black has an infinite amount of co-threats here, was my thought at least. Yeah, black has an almost infinite amount. Now, looking at the game, or looking at this board now, the upper right should be bigger, right? Although, I want to answer once to prevent black from being able to go here. Because now it's affecting my whole corner. So I should answer once. But basically, I felt like black had an infinite amount of co-threats on the bottom. So let me just play a big move and let black start the co, was my thinking. Because even if I can get 2 moves somewhere, then black spent 2 moves on the inside of their own territory. So I haven't really lost anything. So black plays here, which loses co-threats, or loses points, right? Like, you could have just went here, but black's trying to keep, black's trying to get more co-threats, because now black can, like, after, if I play once, black can, like, peep here, or do something. Peep isn't even that good, though, because me blocking threatens R7, but that was black's idea. But then, when black took, I connected here, which threatens to cut, and then black actually resigns here. Yeah, black resigns here, and it does seem pretty reasonable. The thing is, though, one thing I will say is I'm not sure if black saw that black can connect, and it's a 2-step co for white. So that is something for black, where I have to ignore 1 threat, and then 2 threats. It's, I guess, 3-step co even, because black can take back the co each time. So yeah, I think black can definitely fight this co. But maybe black was not happy with the result. So black just decided to resign, which I think is reasonable. So yeah. So after this game, I ended up being 4-0, and overall, I'll say I'm decently happy with my play. In some of the games, some of the other games, I was appalled by my play, to be perfectly honest. But overall, I was happy. Even though I was tilted. I didn't like. I definitely let it get to me, but I didn't let it affect my play too much in terms of, even though I was complicating things, everything I was reading was still working. Like, it wasn't, oh, let's just overplay and hope they make a mistake. Everything I was doing still had something that worked in the reading. So I was happy with that fact, at least. But yeah, I ended up winning this game. I ended up winning the tournament then. That's yeah, there was no prizes for this event, because it's just it really is just a free tournament to get some AGA rated games in. But with that said, and this is why this video took a little longer to get out, is that I was waiting for the games to get rated so I could hopefully say the good news. And in fact, yes, after this tournament, I am now back to 6 dan, which I'm very happy with. Yeah, I think I'm 6.09 or something low 6, of course. Which I was expecting, because I was like 5.93 or something. So jumping a whole 0.1 is quite a lot, actually, even though you might think, well, you played 4 games, won them all, should you jump more? But yeah, and that's why I like doing tournaments with handicaps, because if this was all even and I won all my games, which I probably should, I would not even jump to 5.97 probably, because I'm expected to win those games, so it's not going to affect my rank that much. So that's why I actually like having the handicap, or doing these handicap games. But yeah, super fun event too. I love the venue. It's at the Cleveland Asia Plaza, which has a lot of cool sights to see. And yeah, it was a good event. So thank you all for watching this, the reviews of the tournament. And yeah, I think earlier I mentioned I wanted to hear from the audience what you guys would have done with the lower right, with those, should I have saved those 2 stones or not? But yeah, also tell me anything. Just let me know anything you learned from this review or any of the reviews from this tournament. I'm definitely interested to hear what you are all taking away from these events and applying in your own games. Or taking from these reviews. And applying in your own games. I'm super interested in that. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.